Welcome to the ultimate GH-600 exam masterclass. I've earned 30 plus certifications, and I'm here to guide you to success on your exam. This PDF in the description is your shortcut. Use these strategies wisely and crack your exam in one go. Revise this PDF 2 to 3 times, and you'll feel the difference in your confidence. Let's jump straight into the most important questions for your success. Question 1. You have a repository that uses the GitHub Copilot coding agent and supports hooks stored under .github/hooks. You need a shell command to run automatically whenever an agent execution fails. Which type of hook should you use? A. Post tool use B. Session in C. Error occurred D. Agent stop. Correct answer, C. Error occurred. Explanation. The error occurred hook is triggered whenever an agent execution encounters an error. It allows you to automatically run recovery scripts, logging, or notification commands after a failure. Question 2. You are about to start a complex refactoring task in the GitHub Copilot CLI. Before Copilot makes any changes, you need to review and agree on the approach. What should you do first? A. Start the Copilot CLI and specify the agent equals task parameter. B. Start the Copilot CLI and specify the allow all parameter. C. From the Copilot CLI, switch to plan mode. D. From the Copilot CLI, run the /compact command. Correct answer, C. From the Copilot CLI, switch to plan mode. Explanation. Plan mode generates a proposed implementation without modifying code. This lets you review and approve the approach before Copilot begins making changes. Question 3. A team assigns an issue to the GitHub Copilot coding agent by using the following one-line description. Fix the login bug. Copilot creates a pull request, but the pull request is missing changes and has an incorrect scope. How should you resolve the issue? A. Enable Copilot memory. B. Update the Model Context Protocol (MCP) server rate limits. C. Add a clear description of the problem to the issue. D. Allocate more resources to Copilot setup steps.yml. Correct answer, C. Add a clear description of the problem to the issue. Explanation. Copilot relies on detailed issue descriptions to understand the required work. Providing clear requirements, expected behavior, and acceptance criteria improves the quality of generated pull requests. Question 4. You have a GitHub repository. You use the GitHub Copilot CLI to run an agentic workflow from the terminal. During execution, the conversation history approaches the context limit. The agent cannot continue the current session unless the amount of retained context is reduced. You need to continue the current session without losing all the prior progress. Which Copilot CLI/command should you run? A. /context B, /YOLO C, /clear D, /compact. Correct answer D. /compact. Explanation. The /compact command summarizes previous conversation history to reduce context usage. This preserves important information while allowing the current session to continue. Question 5. You have a GitHub Enterprise repository. An agent opens pull requests to the main branch. You need to ensure that changes to .github/workflows/ and /infra/ require approval from designated reviewers before merge. What should you configure? A. A rule set and an agents.md file. B. A rule set and a .copilot ignore file. C. A branch protection rule and a code owners file. D. A branch protection rule and copilot-instructions.md. Correct answer, C. A branch protection rule and a code owners file. Explanation. A code owners file assigns required reviewers for specific paths. Combined with branch protection rules, GitHub blocks merging until designated reviewers approve the changes. Question 6. You have a repository on github.com that uses the GitHub Copilot coding agent. You also use the GitHub Copilot CLI locally to reproduce failures and continue the same You need to verify the current token usage. Which Copilot CLI/command should you run? A. /compact B, /diff C, /usage D, /context. Correct answer D. /context. Explanation. The /context command displays the current conversation context, including token usage. This helps monitor how much context remains before reaching the model's limit. Question 7. You have a GitHub repository. Developers use the GitHub Copilot CLI and repository scoped hooks under .github/hooks/star.json. You need to allow the Copilot CLI to automatically run low-risk bash commands. The solution must prevent the autonomous execution of high-risk commands, such as sudo, rm/rf/, and curl, bash. What should you do? A. Configure a user prompt submitted hook that logs prompts and exits non-zero. B. Add .github/hooks/log/to.gitignore. C. Configure a session start hook that prints a policy banner. D. Configure a pre-tool use hook that returns permission decision, deny. Correct answer D. Configure a pre-tool use hook that returns permission decision, deny. Explanation. A pre-tool use hook evaluates commands before execution. It can deny dangerous commands while allowing approved low-risk commands to run automatically. Question 8. You have a GitHub Enterprise Cloud organization that uses GitHub Actions for CI/CD. You plan to enable an agent to update and deploy workflows that access production environment secrets. You need to select an autonomy level for a compliance-sensitive workflow. Which autonomy level should you select? A. Read-only analysis with no ability to trigger workflows. B. Autonomous execution limited to non-production environments. C. Human-in-the-loop with required manual approvals for production. D. Fully autonomous execution without approvals. Correct answer, C. Human-in-the-loop with required manual approvals for production. Explanation. Production deployments should require manual approval to reduce operational and security risks. Human-in-the-loop ensures sensitive changes are reviewed before execution. Question 9. You have a GitHub repository that uses the GitHub Copilot coding agent. Your company restricts GitHub Actions secrets. Developers need the Copilot coding agent to call an internal dependency scanning API during its run. The API requires an access token. You need to ensure that the Copilot coding agent can use the token during execution without accessing the repository's actions secrets and variables. The solution must prevent exposing the token in plaintext. What should you do? A. Add the token as an actions repository secret. B. Add the token as a secret in the Copilot environment. C. Store the token in a repository custom instructions file. D. Store the token in the agent configuration file. Correct answer B. Add the token as a secret in the Copilot environment. Explanation. Copilot environment secrets securely provide credentials to the coding agent without exposing them in repository files. This keeps sensitive tokens encrypted and isolated from GitHub Actions secrets. Question 10. You have a multi-agent GitHub Actions workflow that uploads review artifacts for each run. You discover that some workflow run artifacts are being deleted manually. You need to use your organization's audit log data to identify which user deleted the artifacts. Which audit log search filter should you use? A. repo.org/repo. B. Action, workflows.run. C. Operation, remove. D. Action, artifact.destroy. Correct answer D. Action, artifact.destroy. Explanation. The action, artifact.destroy audit log event records artifact deletion activities. It identifies the user who deleted the workflow artifacts and when the deletion occurred. Question 11. You have a GitHub repository that uses GitHub Copilot code review on pull requests. You plan to add repository-wide code review guidance that will apply to all files. You need Copilot code review to consistently apply the guidance during pull request reviews. What should you do? A. Modify the .github/pull_request_template.md file. B. Update the instructions in the .github/agents/star.agent.md files. C. Create a .github/instructions/copilot.instructions.md file. D. Create a .github/copilot-instructions.md file. Correct answer D. Create a .github/copilot-instructions.md file. Explanation: the .github/copilot-instructions.md file provides repository-wide guidance for GitHub Copilot. Copilot uses these instructions consistently across coding and code review tasks. Question 12. You have a GitHub Enterprise repository that uses the GitHub Copilot coding agent and opens draft pull requests for assigned issues. Evaluation results show that the agent repeatedly opens pull requests that modify .github/workflows/star.yml to bypass failing checks instead of fixing the underlying code. You need to ensure that the agent fixes the underlying code instead of bypassing the failing checks. What should you do? A. Start the GitHub Copilot CLI by using allowall. B. Update .github/copilot-instructions.md. C. Create a branch rule set. D. Disable GitHub Actions workflows for pull requests created by the agent. Correct answer C. Create a branch rule set. Explanation: a branch rule set can restrict modifications to protected files such as GitHub workflow files. This forces the agent to resolve the actual code issues instead of bypassing validation checks. Question 13. You have multiple GitHub Copilot coding agents that run tasks concurrently. You are monitoring the agents from the terminal by using the GitHub CLI. An agent appears stalled. You need to live stream the session log output. What should you do? A. Run GH-agent task view and specify the log and JQ parameters. B. Run GH-agent task view and specify the log and follow parameters. C. Run GH-agent task list and specify the web parameter. D. Run GH-agent task list and specify the status and JQ parameters. Correct answer B. Run GH-agent task view and specify the log and follow parameters. Explanation: the follow option continuously streams new log entries as they are generated. This enables real-time monitoring of long-running or stalled agent tasks. Question 14. A developer uses the GitHub Copilot CLI in plan mode. Copilot produces a plan. What does Copilot do next? A. Saves the plan to plan.mdb. Creates a branch named /copilot/plan in the repository. C. Opens a pull request that has the plan as a commit. D. Begins the implementation. Correct answer A. Saves the plan to plan.md. Explanation: in plan mode, Copilot documents the proposed implementation instead of changing code. The generated plan is saved to plan.md for review before implementation begins. Question 15. You have a GitHub Enterprise Cloud organization that uses a custom coding agent to run GitHub Actions workflows that create branches, open pull requests, and merge changes after required checks pass. You need to log all agent-initiated actions and ensure that the logs are retained for 2 years. What should you do? A. Configure audit log retention. B. Enable log forwarding. C. Enable Git events in the audit log. D. Configure audit log streaming to Azure Event Hubs. Correct answer D. Configure audit log streaming to Azure Event Hubs. Explanation: audit log streaming sends GitHub audit events to Azure Event Hubs for long-term storage and analysis. This supports extended retention periods, such as 2 years, beyond GitHub's default audit log retention. Please revise full PDF 2 to 3 times for 100% success. Check the description for the PDF download link and don't forget to subscribe to this channel for upcoming episodes. Thank you.